Hello, little dreamers. It's Bear Maple. Tonight's story is all about the Tooth Fairy, who has a very shiny secret. You'll find out how she keeps her treasures sparkling, why dentists are part of her magical team, and how brushing your teeth makes you part of the adventure too. Let's start our story, The Tooth Fairy's Shiny Secret. In a cheerful little town, there lived a boy named Kai. Kai was full of energy. He loved racing his bike down the street, climbing the tallest trees, and crunching into the juiciest red apples. His laughter often filled the air like music. But there was one thing Kai did not like at all: going to the dentist. Just the thought of sitting in the big chair, with its shiny buttons and the bright light overhead, made his tummy twist and turn like a pretzel. Whenever his mom gently reminded him, "Kai, it's almost time for your checkup," Kai's heart would thump and he wished he could vanish, hiding safely under his bed where no one could find him. One quiet evening, Kai stood at the sink brushing his teeth. He moved his toothbrush slowly, as if scrubbing away his worries along with the bubbles of minty foam. When he leaned over to spit, something magical happened. A soft shimmer glowed in the corner of his room. At first, Kai thought it was just a trick of the light, but then tiny sparkles drifted through the air, twinkling like glowing fireflies. His eyes grew wide as the sparkles gathered together, until, with a gentle puff, the Tooth Fairy appeared. Her delicate wings shone like starlight, and in her hand she carried a silver wand shaped like a toothbrush. She leaned closer with a kind smile and whispered, "Kai, why do you look so worried?" Kai set his toothbrush down on the sink and lowered his voice to a whisper. "I don't like dentists," he admitted softly. "What if it hurts? What if it's too scary?" His words hung in the quiet room like heavy clouds. The Tooth Fairy floated closer and landed gently on his desk, her wings folding neatly behind her. With a kind, glowing smile, she said, "Oh, Kai, dentists aren't scary at all. In fact, they're my very special helpers. You see, I can only collect shiny, healthy teeth, and dentists are the ones who help make sure of that." Kai's eyes widened with surprise. He tilted his head, curiosity replacing some of his fear. "Helpers?" he asked. "You mean they're part of your team?" The fairy nodded slowly, her eyes twinkling like tiny stars, and answered with a gentle laugh. "Yes, Kai, they are." The Tooth Fairy lifted her shining wand and gave Kai a gentle smile. "Would you like to see my secret?" she asked softly. With the lightest tap of her wand, the whole room began to shimmer and swirl as if painted with starlight. In an instant, Kai's cozy bed stretched upward, becoming the tall tower of a castle. His little lamp glowed brighter, transforming into a warm, golden sun. Even his desk shifted and stretched into a grand castle gate. And right there in the middle of it all stood a dentist's chair, only now it sparkled like a royal throne fit for a king. Kai's mouth dropped open in wonder. "Wow," he whispered, his eyes wide. "Is this your kingdom?" Standing proudly beside the sparkling throne was someone Kai recognized right away, his very own dentist, Dr. Lisa. But tonight, she looked completely different. Instead of her white coat, she wore a shining superhero cape that fluttered gently behind her, as if touched by an invisible breeze. She smiled warmly at Kai and said, "Hello, Kai. I'm here to protect your teeth from the sneaky sugar bugs." Kai blinked in surprise, his eyebrows lifting. "Sugar bugs?" he repeated, his voice filled with curiosity. Dr. Lisa nodded with a confident grin. "Yes, they're tiny, mischievous troublemakers who try to sneak inside teeth and build little holes. But don't you worry, Kai. I make sure they never succeed. Suddenly, the floor began to shimmer, and a group of tiny, colorful creatures scurried out. They looked like little beads of every color: red, blue, green, and yellow, each one shiny and sticky, as if rolled in sugar syrup. They bounced and tumbled across the ground, giggling as they went. Some wore lollipop hats that wobbled on their round heads, while others had candy cane belts and cookie crumbs stuck to their feet. With sticky hands, they hammered playfully at a giant pretend tooth castle, trying to poke holes into its walls. Dr. Lisa pointed and said, "Those are the sugar bugs." Kai's eyes grew wide. They didn't seem scary at all, just wiggly, gooey, and very silly. But still, the thought of those sticky little bead creatures crawling over his teeth made him wrinkle his nose. Yuck! I don't want them near me, he thought. Dr. Lisa raised her shiny mirror high, holding it like a glowing shield. Then she sprayed a gentle mist of sparkling water, and the sticky sugar bugs began to slip and slide across the floor with silly squeaks. With a bright beam of light, she sent them scurrying away, tumbling over one another as they disappeared. Smiling at Kai, she said softly, "See, Kai? My tools aren't scary, they're magic. The mirror helps me spot hidden sugar bugs, the spray washes them away, and the light makes sure they can't hide." Kai's eyes grew wide with wonder. "Oh, so that's what the dentist really does," he whispered, his fear beginning to fade. The tooth fairy fluttered down beside Kai, her wings sparkling softly in the castle glow. She leaned close and said, "Every time you sit in the dentist's chair, you're helping us keep the sugar bugs away. That means you're part of our team, Kai." Kai's shoulders lifted, and he stood a little taller, the heavy worries in his chest beginning to fade. "So, going to the dentist is like being a hero too?" he asked with wide, hopeful eyes. Dr. Lisa nodded warmly, her cape fluttering as she smiled. "Exactly, Kai. You're just as brave as any hero." Kai's lips curled into a grin, and he puffed out his chest proudly. "Then I want to help," he declared. "I'll be brave next time." The magic swirled once more, and Kai's room returned to normal. The tooth fairy brushed a hand over his cheek. "I'll be watching, Kai. Keep your teeth shining, and I'll always visit with a smile." Kai snuggled into bed, feeling calm and proud. From that day on, the dentist's chair didn't seem scary anymore. To Kai, it was a throne where he could help the Tooth Fairy's team keep his smile bright and strong. And that ends our story, little dreamers. Kai discovered that dentists aren't scary at all. They're heroes who help the Tooth Fairy keep our teeth shiny and strong. Remember, every time you brush and visit the dentist, you're part of the team too. Sweet dreams, and until next time. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or follow Bear Maple for more heartwarming bedtime stories.